Okay, folks, if you don't mind, take your seat and let's get prepared. Time is approximately 6 p.m. September 12th, 2024. Farragut Board Mayor and Alderman meeting will now begin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and online. I want to thank you for your presence at tonight's Board Mayor and Alderman meeting. My name is Ron Williams, the fourth elected mayor of the town of Farragut. We appreciate that each of you has taken your time from your busy schedules to either attend or view tonight's meeting to see how our town government works. All Farragut Board Mayor and Alderman meetings are public notice per Tennessee state law. All board meetings are taken and are available. As far as the minutes, each meeting will be recorded and can be viewed at a later date on YouTube. If you're in attendance, you should be able to pick up a copy of tonight's agenda at the door when you come in tonight. If you were not able to attend tonight and are viewing from home, then the agenda is available online at our website. For those in attendance that would like to speak, please pick up a blue card at the door and write in your name and agenda number you wish to comment on. There will also be time reserved near the end of the meeting for citizens' comments on non-agenda subjects, which will require that you fill out a blue card with citizen comments as you're wishing for your time to speak and turn it in to our town recorder. On each agenda item, they will ask the town recorder for residents' input. During this time, any Farragut resident wishing to speak to the board on that specific agenda item may do so for up to 3 minutes. After being recognized by the mayor, please go to the podium microphone in order to be heard and viewed by all. To conduct efficient business-like meetings, the town has adopted rules for how its meetings will be conducted. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, assure that all points of view are heard and considered, and provide common courtesy to everyone. We ask that you observe the established meeting rules when addressing the board. At the beginning of your presentation, please state your name and address for the record. We ask that you address all of your questions to the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor. To my right, do not directly question alderman or staff members. If necessary, the mayor may call on an alderman or staff member concerning your question or your comments. Once you've given your input, please return to your seat so that we can continue. We ask that every speaker avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or other inappropriate conduct, and address issues, not individuals or personalities, with malicious comments. Speakers should strive to avoid redundancy and should have their own original viewpoints. We ask that you also stay on topic of the agenda item. We are here tonight doing the people's business. It's a very important responsibility for all of us. A meeting call to order. We'll start tonight's meeting with a roll call by our town recorder for a quorum prior to standing for a silent prayer, which will then be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our country's flag, which will be led tonight by Vice Mayor Scott Mayer.
Alderman Burnett.
Here.
Alderman Kane.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any amendments to our agenda?
No,
tonight?
sir.
We have none, okay. I'll ask for a motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second, okay. In favor of approval, please say yes.
Yes.
Any noes? Let the record show September 12th, 2024 agenda has been approved as posted. Do we have any minutes?
No, sir.
Changes? None? I'll need a motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, if in favor of approval, please say yes.
Yes.
Any noes? Let the record show the August 22nd, 2024 minutes have been approved as posted. Mayor's report. I'll start with a big thank you to our tourism committee and all the sponsors for the area update that was hosted by Current Water Sports at their Outlet Mall location. Next will be the Daughters of the American Revolution Constitution Week proclamations, and it will be read by Vice Mayor Meyer.
Whereas September 17th, 2024 marks the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designing September 17th through September 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the Town of Farragut, do hereby proclaim September 17th through September 23rd, 2024 to be Constitution Week in the Town of Farragut, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell you what, folks, let's go down in front of the flag, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'll take two pictures, one with two different cameras. I think get really close together. Squeeze in like each other.
Thank you. Okay, next, Vice Mayor, do you have anything for tonight?
No, sir.
Okay, any of the other aldermen have anything that they would like to talk about?
Sure, Mayor. I'll say a little something.
Okay,
Just wanted to share, I went out and met with their residents at Thornton Heights last night. Got in touch with one of the heads of that neighborhood and their Facebook group and got the word out. And had a pretty good meeting last night. As you can imagine, a lot of residents are on edge in that area based on the amount of speeding and cut-throughs and tragedy that's happened over the last few weeks in there. So had a great meeting. Really had two goals. The first goal was, one, to listen to the residents. I told them I didn't want to assume that I knew what was going on and the issues, that I wanted to hear it from them. So got a lot of great feedback, a lot of good notes. And then the second piece was to review the options that we had moving forward. All of that is going to start with the speed study, which has already been submitted, and Liz Agee from the neighborhood did a phenomenal job of a very detailed traffic calming application listing all the roads, all the streets, all the high speeding areas, as well as the bus stops. So that was very, very helpful. So we've got that in the works. We've got a couple other roads that are ahead of that traffic study, and then we'll move to that neighborhood and start street by street doing each of those studies. So good news there. It's en route, it's happening, and I let them know that I will be following up with them in the next 3 to 4 weeks as the other roads come to completion, and that Thornton Heights is next on the agenda. So they're very thankful. We're on the same page, and we are going to help solve their issues here in the next few months, but starting with a traffic study. That's it, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if not, we will start tonight with our ordinances. We have 3 of those for public hearing and review, as well as a resolution. Start with the ordinance number 1, which will be ordinance 2415, a public hearing on first reading to rezone partial 191.1, tax map 130, south of Home Federal Bank off Parkside Drive, 1.57 acres from office district 3-story 013 to general commercial C1, Turkey Creek Land Partners applicant.
Good evening, I'm Mark Shipley. I'll present this item for you. This is actually the last, as you can look on the screen, the last undeveloped tract that's part of the Turkey Creek development on Parkside Drive. This tract is just south of Home Federal Bank. Both Home Federal Bank and this property are currently zoned 013. That's an office zone that allows up to a 3-story building. So because this tract is actually visible from North Campbell Station Road, it's not accessible to North Campbell Station Road. It actually has an access through the Publix parking lot. But because it is visible from that major arterial, there's been some interest in different restaurant concepts for the property, but by its current zone of 013, that's not a permitted use. So the applicant has come before the town and requested a rezoning to general commercial. That's actually the same zoning district that the Publix shopping center is zoned. That's just adjacent to this to the east. When the staff reviewed this with the Planning Commission, we felt like the C1 was actually a better district for the property for a number of reasons. First of all, the size of the property is really doesn't capitalize on the 013. It would be hard to build a 3-story office building on that size property and be able to park it. And then the C1 actually provides more options for marketability. It also helps us with enhancing our potential tax revenue generating uses like restaurants. So when this came before the Planning Commission, and because this tract is also compatible, the zoning is compatible with the Public Center just to the east. The staff recommended to the Planning Commission approval of ordinance 24-15, and they did unanimously recommend approval at their meeting on August 15th. In terms of the town's strategic plan, one of the critical success factors of enhancing the town's financial position would be advanced by this rezoning, because you're essentially transforming it from a non-tax revenue generating zone to one that potentially could generate tax revenue. So for those reasons, the staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mark, and thank you for the motion and the second. Do we have any residents
sir.
signed up for speaking on this particular item? None. Then we will ask for a discussion. I'll start out with Alderman White.
None.
Vice Mayor.
I think that the zoning change makes this property match the context around it, so I think that's a good thing. And of course, I always love the opportunities to generate more sales tax, so I'm very much supportive of this.
Okay. Alderman Burnett.
I have no questions.
Alderman Kane.
No, sir. None.
Well, follow what the Vice Mayor says. The sales tax is important to our town, and we'd like to see that a sales tax producing piece of property. So with discussion completed, I'll ask the town recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett.
Yes.
Alderman Kane.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams, yes. Let the record show that the request to rezone ordinance 2415 has been approved on the first reading. 5-0 by roll call vote on September 12th, 2024 at approximately 6:15 p.m. Okay. Next will be second ordinance, ordinance 2416, a public hearing on the first reading of ordinance 2416, an ordinance to rezone a portion of the property at 12725 Union Road from general single-family residential R2, 8.64 acres. Will Cloffingham, applicant.
This property is just to the west of Fox Run subdivision along Union Road. Currently has one dwelling unit. It's over 8.5 acres. It is bisected by a stream that's a tributary to Little Turkey Creek. Most of the property is on the west side of the stream, and that's where the house is situated. And that part of the property is currently zoned R2, which is general single-family residential. And that's really more of a true subdivision kind of zoning district with generally slightly less than half-acre lots. Now, on the east side of the stream, the property is already zoned R1, which is rural residential, a little bit larger, a little bit more rural zoning district. The staff discovered through a citizen request that the applicant has chickens on the west side of their property where it's currently zoned R2. And in the R2 district, because it is a subdivision kind of oriented district, the only agricultural uses permitted there are crops, and you have to have at least 5 acres for that. So the main intent of this rezoning for the applicant is to be able to have the chickens on their property. So when they initially submitted their rezoning request, they had requested agricultural. The staff kind of looked at that and the surrounding plan of development. You know, they've already got part of their property zoned R1 east of the stream, and then that part of the property backs up to a portion of Fox Run that's zoned R1. So the staff recommended to change that zoning request to R1 instead of agricultural, because in the R1 district, since he has more than an acre, the chickens would be a permitted use in R1. So it would accomplish the goal of the rezoning request. So the Planning Commission agreed with that because the R1 was more compatible than the agricultural district with what surrounds it. And they did at their August 15th meeting unanimously recommend approval of ordinance 24-16. The staff also recommends approval of this ordinance on first reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
On this, okay. Okay, discussion, Alderman Hoyt?
None.
None? Okay, Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
Down zoning and bring on the chickens.
That's what we like to hear. Vice Mayor?
I'd like to echo what Alderman Burnett said. So,
Okay, with discussion complete, I'll ask the town recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett.
Yes.
Alderman Kane.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
yes.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams, yes. Thank you. Let the record show the request to amend the GFB, whoops, sorry. Let the record show that the request to rezone ordinance 24-15 has been approved on the first reading, 5-0 by roll call vote, September 12th, 2024, at approximately 6:18 p.m. Okay, next will be ordinance 24-16, a public hearing on first ordinance, reading of the first ordinance of 24-16, ordinance to rezone a portion of the property at 12. Well, wait just a minute. I'm sorry. Let's start that all over again. Ordinance 24-17, a public hearing on first reading. Ordinance 24-17, an ordinance of Town of Farragut, Tennessee, amending the fiscal year 2024-2025 capital investment program ARP fund budgets, passed by ordinance 2407.
Yes, sir. This ordinance is to allocate additional funding that is needed for the McPhee Park Phase 4 project and the stormwater infrastructure repairs project. The McPhee Park Phase 4 project will need an additional $174,000. The bids for this project were higher than originally budgeted. The additional funds needed will be funded through the stormwater project's assigned fund balance that are in the CIP. Stormwater infrastructure repairs, additional funds of $204,327.73. This project was awarded in April of 2024, and since that time, additional funds are needed for a change order of $38,748, and additional work proposed in the amount of $165,579. The additional funds are needed, also will be funded through the Stormwater Project assigned fund balance in the Capital Investment Program. And the second part is the budget for the Capital Investment Program. The funds will be transferred to the ARPA fund to supplement the additional funds needed for the projects. The funds will be deducted from the assigned fund balance in the Stormwater Projects Fund. The beginning balance of that fund is $562,034. The requested amount is $378,327.73. And the remaining amount for that fund will be $183,706.27. Motion is to approve ordinance 2417 on first reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any rest of comments?
No, sir.
On this one, none. Alderman White?
None.
Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
No questions.
The Vice Mayor?
Pass.
Okay, I'll pass as well. Okay, I'll ask the town recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett?
Yes.
Alderman Kane?
Yes.
Alderman White?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Mayor Williams, yes. Let the record show, ordinance 24-17 has been amended. Ordinance 2407 by a 5-0 roll call vote on September 12th at approximately 6:20 p.m. Okay. Resolution, we have approval of resolution 2024-12, acceptance of public streets and street names located with the town of Farragut.
Okay, just to give you a little background on this, because this doesn't come to you all very often. The development of streets is mostly handled entirely by the Planning Commission. You have what's called a preliminary plat, which is construction plans that a developer submits for Planning Commission's review. And that basically includes all the public infrastructure, the streets, pedestrian facilities, utilities, that kind of stuff. Then they go build that infrastructure, and then they submit what's called a final plat that establishes the property lines, easements, and things like that. And then that is reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission, and then that gets recorded so that someone can start building houses on the lots that have been platted. But under the state law, the approval and recording of the final plat does not constitute the municipality's acceptance of a street as being a public street. That has to come before you all, and that's why it's coming before you all at this time. The town actually has a 2-year maintenance letter of credit that we require whenever the improvements are finished. Then we ask the developer to provide a 2-year maintenance letter of credit so that we can monitor those improvements during the first 2 years to make sure that when the town does ultimately take over that infrastructure, that we're not inheriting some kind of liability, that there's problems with it. It gives us a chance to kind of monitor that and make sure that we're protecting a taxpayer's investment there. So that's generally how the process works. This list only comes to the board every few years. It's really dependent on the number of subdivisions that we have, how many new streets that come about, because again, there's a time lag between when those streets get constructed and when they're actually presented to you all. The last time this came before the board was in 2021, actually. And if the list that's in your packet, all the streets that are in black have already been accepted by the board in the past. And then there's the street or street sections in red are the new ones. And there's not many, but that's the new ones that we're proposing to add to the existing list. And then once those are accepted through this resolution, they will actually become officially public streets owned and maintained by the town. So the engineering staff has inspected the condition of these streets that we're proposing to add to this list, and they're comfortable that they're in a good condition. So myself and the town engineer, Darrell Smith, both recommend approval of ordinance 24-12. Or resolution, sorry.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any resident comments
No,
on
sir.
this one? None? Okay. Alderman White?
None.
Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
It's great to see Eddie Courtney Lane officially
Yeah.
straight.
That's one we were waiting on. Vice Mayor?
Pass.
Okay, I'll ask Town Recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett.
Yes.
Alderman Kane.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams, yes. Let the record show that the board has approved by roll call vote of 5-0 to accept the public streets and names listed that are in the town of Farragut on September 12, 2024, at approximately 6:25 p.m. Okay, next will be business items. Looks like we have 6 of those to review and consider for approval. And we'll start off with approval of the Veterans Salute 5K, 10K race, November 9th, 2024.
Yes, sir. The first Veterans Salute race was held in 2019. The event will include a 10K, 5K that is scheduled for Saturday, November 9th. The start and finish area, along with the Athletes Village, will be located at the Farragut Community Center on Jamestown Boulevard. The event will include temporary one-lane closures of Jamestown Boulevard, Campbell Station Road, and streets throughout Village Green subdivision. A map is on the screen in front of you. We hope to encourage the local community to gather at Founders Park and cheer on the runners for the Veterans Salute. Proposed motion is to approve the event application involving the town's public rights-of-ways for the Salute to Veterans races on November 9th, 2024.
Okay, thank you. Motion?
Move we approve.
Second.
Second, okay. Scott, okay. Resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Discussion, Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
No questions.
Vice Mayor?
Pass.
Alderman White?
None.
I have none as well. Discussion complete. I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Noes? None. Then let the record show that the event has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of Hot to Trot 5K, 10K Fun Run, November 28, 2024.
Yes, sir. This request is similar to the ones in the past. In the annual Hot to Trot race, it's sponsored by Fleet Feet of Knoxville Running Club. The races will start near the end of Fleet Feet store on Parkside Station Shopping Center west of Lake Ridge Drive. And the attached maps in front of you. Each event will feature a loop, 2 loops for the 10K along portions of Parkside Drive. There'll be a short-term lane and road closures within the affected portions of Parkside Drive. Setup will begin at 6:30 a.m. and all cleanup will be completed by 10 a.m. All the surrounding business owners have been notified. The motion is to approve the Hot to Trot 5K, 10K, and Fun Run road closures on Parkside Drive, November 28, 2024, from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Alderman White?
None.
Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
I'm excited to have this event again, and it's also great to see Karen in the back of the room, hiding out.
Okay,
I'm getting ready for lunch that day.
Vice Mayor?
Pass.
And I have nothing as well. Discussion completed. If in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Okay, any noes? If that's the case, then let the record show the event has been approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of change order number 1 for contract 2024-15, synthetic field resurfacing, Mayor Bob Leonard Park.
Evening, Board. Ron Ostrike, Parks and Rec Director. After the contract for the synthetic fields was approved, Geosurfaces presented an opportunity to add permanent lacrosse striping to both of the playing surfaces, as well as 650 feet of rotten board replacement, the underlayment of the new turf. The lacrosse striping is a permanent inlay. It's the same as the soccer striping that we have on the fields, except it's yellow. So this inlay goes in a different direction as it's inlaid, so it's permanent. What we are experiencing is when we have lacrosse players on these fields, in the past, they would paint their own stripes. With new fields, we don't want anyone painting stripes on them, so we chose to put them in on a permanent basis. We have about 20 or so hours per month of lacrosse, plus a large tournament in the spring, and lacrosse is a growing sport, so we made that decision. The total change order is $31,500. and the entire project remains under budget by $490,000.
Okay. I'll need a motion.
Move to approve?
Second.
Okay. Resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Discussion, Alderman Burnett?
Yeah, if you have not been out to see this new turf, it is revolutionary. It's a game changer, and people from all over the South are coming to our fields that have only been completed less than a month to see it. Universities are coming to see it, large groups that
Communities.
hold, yeah, these types of tournaments are coming to see it. So if you haven't been out there, go walk on it. There's no more black balls to get in your cleats and spread all over your home. The temperature on this turf is 20 to 40 degrees less than what it was on the old turf, and the longevity is incredible compared to the turf we had. So the second you step on it, you will go, wow, this is great. So thank y'all, and for coming in under budget.
Okay. Alderman Kane?
I have to second what Alderman Burnett just said. Walking on that new turf is amazing, and I think the longevity is going to be much longer than the older design. And yeah,
It's a 12-year warranty, so I mean, that's unheard of in this field. So
so thank you for, like he said, thanks for coming under budget.
I'll pass it along.
Vice Mayor?
Nothing else to add?
Okay. Alderman White?
None.
Well, my comment is that having foresight to choose this over what we'd had before, it is, like Alderman Burnett said, it is a game changer. Okay, with discussion complete, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show the change has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of change order number 1, contract of 2024-09, stormwater infrastructure repairs.
Ron always likes to get that little dig in about being under budget. I never seem to have that kind of fortune. The next two items on your agenda are change orders to contract 2024-09, the stormwater infrastructure repairs project. You'll probably recall awarding the contract to Morgan Contracting back in January. Since that time, Morgan has videoed all of the pipes and structures to better assess how much effort they're going to have to put into making repairs. They discovered at 3 locations additional work that needed to be done that was outside the original scope. Some of the work we asked them to go ahead and do, that is change order number 1. It consisted of grouting the invert of several pipes at those 3 locations. That had a total value of $38,748. That is change order 1. So staff recommends approval of change order 1, contract 2024-09, with a total increase in cost of $38,748.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, resident comments?
No, sir.
Okay, discussion, Alderman White?
None.
Vice Mayor?
None.
Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
No questions.
No questions for Darrell either. Discussion complete, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show that the change order has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of change order number 2, contract 2024-09, stormwater infrastructure repairs.
This was the additional work that has yet to be done. It consists mostly of replacing some of the pipes that are at those 3 locations. It isn't cheap. It does have an additional cost of $165,579.73. Staff recommends approval of change order 2, contract 2024-09, the total increase in cost of $165,579.73.
Okay,
Move to approve?
Second.
okay, resident comments?
No, sir.
None, discussion, Alderman White?
None.
Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
So this is where they got in and saw that the lines were not just a little worse, but way worse. So like
Way worse.
slip lining would not work,
Correct.
and a full replacement. Okay, no questions.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have that from time to time due to what was put in many years ago. So this will not be the first or the last time that we hear some of these. So with discussion complete, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any noes? In that case, let the record show change order has been approved as requested. Approval of bid contract 2025-06, McPhee Park Phase Number 4.
Yes, this is McPhee Park Phase 4. It is construction of a 127-space permeable paver parking lot on the western end of the loop at McPhee Park. It also includes a pavilion for a trailhead, irrigation, plantings, and lights, I believe. So we had an awful lot of interest in this project prior to bidding. Unfortunately, we only received one bid on August 6th. That was a bid from the Franklin Group LLC for $2,674,000. Staff recommends approval of bids and award of contract 2025-06 to the Franklin Group for their bid of $2,674,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, rest of comments on
Yes,
this
sir.
one? None. Okay, discussion, Alderman Burnett.
Can you remind me, Darrell, why we left the house, the grassy area where the house was, and didn't just keep it,
I believe that's where the dog park goes, is that correct?
That is correct.
Part of it.
Well, potentially, yeah, we gotta talk about that. Just seems like, all right. Well, it's a lot of money, but just a reminder to people that ARPA and TDEC funds are paying all but around $180,000 of it, so that is a huge, huge help that we're very, very thankful for.
Okay. Alderman King,
None.
Vice Mayor,
Pass.
Alderman White.
None.
My question, Darrell, do you think, I know there was a huge amount of interest to begin with, and then you had one bidder. Do you think it was maybe more than what some of the other bidders could do? Normal, or that big of a contract, or?
I don't think so. I know a couple of the potential bidders that have done bigger projects,
Okay,
so I think it was all within their range.
okay.
Can I ask a question too? Sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't have a local bidder that normally does this stuff?
The
Probably know who
Franklin
I'm
Group
talking
is a
about.
local bidder.
Did they do the, right here on the corner? Did they do the pavers at Camel Station Inn?
No.
Why didn't they?
We haven't done we haven't completed any work with the Franklin Group in the past. They have worked with Ross Fowler, who is our consultant, and Ross Fowler recommends them highly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? If not, then, with discussion complete, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Let the record show that contract 2025-06 has been approved as requested. Okay, next will be citizen comments.
No comments.
No one signed up. Okay, then if that's the case, we'll move right along to town administrator's report.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Well, I see that Mr. Hale's chair is empty, so the time is approximately, what do you got? 6:39. And without objection, September 12th, 2024, Farragut Mayor Moore Alderman meeting is now adjourned.